Doug Gottlieb, former college basketball player. We brought a basketball hoop over here, and McLovin went out there as well. McLovin played junior varsity at Dartmouth, and Doug, of course, one of the all-time leading assist men in college basketball history. Had some issues from the free throw line when he played, but he's rectified those. He's got a great shot, looks good, looks comfortable. McLovin and Dougie Fresh are going to shoot free throws, shoot 10 free throws, and loser has to go into the fountain here at DirecTV. So, Doug, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I see you bringing the Cameron Indoor Stadium rims as well. Those are some loose.
Very friendly.
Soft, very friendly.
I was always wondering about that. When you go into a building, and there are certain places where the rim is tight or the background is different. But did you ever go into a place and just say, I'm not going to have a good night because the background or the aesthetics or the rim?
It was every night, Dan. Every night. No, I was actually, I was a very good shooter that just, you get in your own head and almost becomes like stage fright. And I became like Rondo before Rondo, where you could just find a way to play without a jump shot.
Did you see a therapist?
I did I did like a sports psychologist. I should have gone and done therapy. I think it would have really helped. Like now I do therapy. I'm like, why didn't I do? It's like yoga. Like, why didn't I do this when I played?
But nowadays you could do it and nobody would give you grief or make fun of you.
No.
When back then you're just like, oh my God, he's seeing a therapist.
No, yeah, I have a friend, Jake Rauschbach, who's his sports. He does sports psychology, does this thing tapping, whatever. There's that athletes do. In order to kind of release your brain from things that hold you back. But anyway, to answer your question, yeah, there are different types of, like if the further back the background is, the lower the hoop looks, the closer it is. Like, if you ever go in a high school gym, there's a wall behind it. The hoop sometimes looks like it's 10.5 feet high.
Yeah.
And they're all about 10 feet.
But do you think Lonzo Ball and Markelle Fultz, that's now more mental?
Yes.
Fultz is, there's a little physicality. Lonzo's healthy, though.
I think Lonzo will be okay. I think Lonzo free throw line, there's an issue there. I think Markelle Fultz.
How do you shoot 41% from the line?
Well, that's a good question. You're asking the right guy, actually.
You
honestly,
were better than Lonzo Ball.
Barely. And that's nothing to brag about, right?
But how do you?
But I was an 80% free throw shooter in high school. You should just hold the ball, get fouled, and then make the free throws and win the game, right?
Yeah.
And then you get. There was no traumatic. It was a traumatic moment, but my first year at Notre Dame, we're playing Rutgers, the first ever Big East game for both teams. We're up, I think 17 in the second half. They make a comeback. I get fouled. I airball the first free throw. I make the second. So we end up losing the game. And the next day, the late John McLeod, who passed away earlier this year, he has his secretary leaving me a message to come down to his office because that's how he would talk to you. So we go and I sit down, in his office, and he's got the game on. And I thought we're going to work on our zone offense because they went to zone and we screwed up or some defensive breakdowns. He starts to look at the free throws like, Dougie, what happened here? And I was like, that's an air ball, coach. I was like, I made the next one. So we went out and he called Denny Price, Mark and Brent Price's dad, who was his old assistant in Oklahoma. And John McLeod had never played basketball, and he's sitting there, got my left hand in front.
Oh, no.
But it was more than that. I could actually feel it coming before that.
But have you ever had an air ball from the line before?
No, but I had plenty after that. Yeah. And then, I got in trouble. I sat out around here. I went to Oklahoma State and I felt like I was better. And then I get up the free throw line at times and then it would just go your legs would go. You just feel numb. So it's definitely a mental thing for most people. I think Markelle Fultz, he's basically got what I have, only it's now even worse because now he's got a hitch. There's the hitch and there's the lack of belief. And I thought they made a mistake last year. Drew Hanlon's a great trainer, but he does not understand. You have to have somebody who understands the mental aspects of what he's going through. And hiding him out in a gym and saying he's cured, that ain't going to work.
But how does Lonzo Ball, with a hands-on dad, you would think
That's probably part of it. I had a hands-on dad. But
his other brothers can shoot. They have a better looking shot than Lonzo does.
Yes.
So how do you get to the point where you're a starting point guard? And I do like him. I saw where he would come down, and the defense is basically saying, go ahead.
Well, look, I think he's going to become a solid open three-point shooter. but the mental aspects of the free throw, like that changes everything, right? You drive in there, you don't want to get fouled, right? And he's a spectacular freak athlete. You don't want to get fouled, and you have to get fouled at the end of a game. It hurts your averages. It hurts your ability to create assists. He's already not a great finisher. Like all of these things, he has to solve the free throw thing. And I think, and as much as the funkiness of it hurts him in game action, that doesn't hurt. The release is fine. He can make free throws the way he's shooting the basketball. It's completely from the neck up. And you got to get somebody who knows how to deep dive in there and understands how to fix that.
The NCAA rule here with well, they were calling it the Rich Paul rule.
The Rich Paul, LeBron James called it the Rich Paul rule.
Yeah. And then they backtracked a little bit.
Yeah.
If you really care about the kids and you're altruistic and you believe in it, then why are you backing up, with this? That say,
honestly scared of backlash of social media because if you look at what they've done, all they've said is, okay, we're going to adapt the NBA PA to be an agent. You have to have a degree, or you have to have some sort of special circumstances and apply to be an NBA agent in spite of the fact. So really, they grandfathered in Rich Paul.
Yeah.
It's corporate America being very scared of social media. That's really what it is. Because while Rich Paul made a good point in his op-ed piece that, it doesn't mean you're not a con man just because you have a degree. Like, look, all we're trying to do is protect these players to get the best possible advice. Not advice from their uncle or their aunt or their cousin or their AAU coach. Somebody who's legit and reputable.
Okay, but create the perfect system here for these kids if they want to. And we're talking about not the top guys coming out. You want to protect the kids who aren't getting great advice. You want to test the draft waters.
Right.
So Which,
by the way, are guys that Rich Paul doesn't represent.
Yeah.
So it's not really the Rich Paul rule.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Christian Dawkins rule. Christian Dawkins was a guy who wanted to be an agent, was a runner, and they just want to protect, keep those guys away from the players. That's like the best that they can do.
But they're still going to be there.
Of course they're still going to be there, but are they going to be acting as if they're an agent? Because in the way it works now, you can actually agree to terms with an agent and that person can advise you. And those people specifically, the NCAA is just trying to protect the player. It's not a great system.
Why can't I draft you whenever I want to draft you and you play for me whenever you want to play for me?
I love that. I love that idea. There is problems with, all right, you play you play Duke, North Carolina on a Tuesday night, and then I want you to play, though, next week for the Charlotte Hornets. I can call you up. You become my official minor league. Is that how you want to do it?
No. Once you are drafted, let's say you're a high school player. I draft you, and you decide if you want to go play for me or you want to go to college for a year.
Right.
And then you go for a year and work on your game, and then you come out, and then you're going to play for my team. You're not playing for North Carolina one night and then Charlotte the next night. When you're done with your college career, then you
I own your rights.
I own your rights.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it in all the other sports where we're able to draft, aren't we?
We do. Now in baseball, once you go back in, you can't they lose your rights, right? Once you play for a university, they lose your rights until the next time they can draft you. That's like Larry Bird had that when he came out. He was drafted and got to go back to Indiana State. I don't have any problem with that. I just think the NCAA and the NBA need to work together because the idea of opening up for high school kids is a bad idea. It makes the league worse, makes the product worse. I think college is a great place, and college is somewhere that you should welcome more people, not less, because it provides more than just like the education. It's the whole lifestyle and something to fall back on in a family, basketball family, all the things you don't have as a pro athlete. When it's done as a pro athlete is done. In college, when you're done, there's place in the administration, there's jobs you can get. I'm a big college sport guy, as you know, but I'm with you. I don't think there should be anything wrong with a guy, plays for UCLA and then can go train and work out with the Clippers in the offseason. There's no reason you can't. You shouldn't be able to do so. In terms of owning your rights, I think that's probably a hard sell considering the basketball idea. You play really well, and then are you going to shut it down for the rest of the year? Oh, my ankle hurts.
If you just moved here, would you become a Laker fan or a Clipper fan?
If I just moved here?
So you have no loyalty, no allegiance.
That's a great question. Probably a Clipper fan. I mean, look, they check all the boxes for what you'd want to have in a team, right? where they're like legit excited at the opportunity of the future. There's no, even though there's expectations, there's not arrogance with those expectations. You got a championship coach, got championship, figurehead in the front office. You have an owner who's just willing to spend, wants to create his own entertainment complex. You have great energy with how they play. The other side to it is having grown up here, like the idea that the Clippers and Lakers are on par it's so hard to fathom.
Yeah.
It just is. When I was in high school, they had the LA riots. So people forget when Larry Brown's team made the NBA playoffs, they had to play in Anaheim because the sports arena was in the middle of a war zone. You couldn't, there was no Clipper fans. Nobody grew up a Clipper fan. You go to a Clipper game because it was less expensive. And now the Clippers have a legit shot. I still like what the Lakers have done.
Who's better this year?
I think the Lakers are still probably a little bit better.
I do too.
They have guys that have done it. I know Kawhi has done it, but Paul George is never seemingly healthy, and all those other guys they're great first and second round dudes. I want guys that have done it when it matters, and I do think Lakers have more of those guys.
Yeah, and I wonder when this becomes Davis's team. Because at some point, LeBron has to realize this, and I wonder is he the last guy to realize that this isn't his team anymore on the court? So it's now Anthony Davis's team.
He's supposedly sold Kawhi Leonard and he sold Anthony Davis on this is going to be their team. Everybody says that, right? Like,
it's
hey,
to be.
You told McLovin 6 months ago it's going to become the McLovin show, right? And we understand that it hasn't yet evolved into that.
Where's McLovin?
He went in back. He said to stretch, get his gear on, and warm up. He's outside
for this free throw shooting.
Yeah,
contest?
he's taking advantage of Doug being in here.
Oh wow.
He's getting.
Oh no, he knows that he talked to some trash about you in the first hour.
He did. I would say this. I think the big unknown is LeBron and what he's going to be like. He did not move the same last year.
Well, he was out of shape, I thought.
Yeah, he's lost a bunch of weight this offseason.
Yeah, he looks good.
He looks good, but he's lost weight in the off seasons in the past. So, Carmelo did this for years where they super trim down and then they get NBA lifestyle. They're just, I want to know how he moves. At 35 years old, no one moves the same.
Yeah.
And
a lot of miles on. He's not a regular 35-year-old.
Right.
With
Now they have good defenders around. So suddenly you're hiding LeBron a little bit defensively. And how do you play around him offensively? And then the style that he plays where it's a lot of isolations and creating help. That's not really how anybody plays now in the NBA. Even James Harden, where they do isolate, they run a ball screen to get the right switch. That's not really how they play. So I'm interested. And then you have Frank Vogel, who's never coached him, never won a championship. There's a bunch of different reasons to not totally go all in on the Lakers.
Who's got more pressure? LeBron, Kawhi, Frank Vogel?
Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
Frank Vogel.
Is he coaching after next season with the Lakers?
Yes.
Really?
I don't think that the idea of...
You brought in Jason Kidd.
I think Jason Kidd will get a job. I don't think it'll be with the Lakers.
Oh, you don't think he'll be the next head coach of the Lakers?
No, maybe, but no.
Okay.
I just don't... You're not going to have 3 head coaches in 3 years. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong. I mean, they brought in David Blatt in Cleveland, and
I thought Frank was a great hire for them, given what was going on. I didn't need to add to the fire. I needed somebody who was just a little more stable.
Yes.
Not saying anything incendiary. I just wanted it to be calm occasionally. Jason Kidd, I don't think brings calmness to that situation.
Yes,
if he was the head coach.
Agree. If he was the head coach, but in the role that he's in,
what is that role though?
Conduit. I've been a head coach. I've been a superstar player.
Okay.
And because the one thing Frank has not really coached is a superstar, right? Like Paul George was
George
not.
Is it?
Yeah, but he was not. He was when he was then. He was Indiana Paul George, right? Like Paul George now, and even now, Paul George is not a tough guy to coach. Like LeBron's gonna be a challenge. He's a challenge. Like that's really what the David Griffin article said was like he's kind of a pain in the ass, right? But I mean, super talented, and everybody wants to take a shot at winning the title with him, but it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody, and I think that the idea of Jason Kidd having been a great player, having been a head coach, I think that's the idea of the role, the conduit to all those pieces.
By the way, if you missed any of our interviews from the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave, go to the Dan Patrick Show app where you can watch and listen from inside the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave. Mercedes-AMG driving performance. We'll take a break. If you're watching on DirecTV Audience Network Channel 239 or brlive.com, it's the showdown. This is what people came to see. And it's McLovin is out there. You can see McLovin shooting.
He changed clothes.
And he did. He got into his basketball gear. And he's at the line, and those are back-to-back makes there with McLovin. The bet is 10 free throws for
Looks
each.
like Billy Hoyle.
10 free throws, and the loser goes into the fountain here at AT&T. Yes,
I got pie in the face.
I know
I just
you
had to do
did.
it all the time.
Oh, dude, do we have video of Doug getting a pie in the
yes.
face?
We've showed it a few times.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Who you bet on for this one, Dan?
I'm going to go Doug.
Wow.
Doug has a clutch gene. When he hit that 3 in Houston, he had one chance for a 3.
That's the first clutch shot he's hit.
That is.
But you got a great-looking shot. He's got nice follow-through, nice arc. I mean, he looks great. But you know what? When the game's on the line, when there's
there it is. There it is.
He got hit with the pie. Oh boy, I was so proud of that moment.
That was a very good setup.
I had to give the pie to somebody in the crowd and say, "Put it behind your back. We're going to get a team picture here, and we want you to sneak up behind Doug."
Backing up, and I was like, "How are we backing up?"
Boom! Right in the face.
Bam.
All right.
Friends like you guys, who needs enemies?
I know. We'll have the free throw contest coming up next here with Doug and McLovin. Okay, so we're outside the Rich Eisen Studios on the campus of DirecTV, AT&T, and Doug Gottlieb against McLovin. This is 10 free throws, and then we have a fountain here, and I just checked the water.
Yeah.
Warm. I'm going to guess it's around 65 degrees in the fountain. The loser gets a baptismal dip into the fountain. You shoot. McLovin won the coin toss. Doug will shoot 5, and then McLovin shoots, and then Doug, and then McLovin.
Oh for 1.
Okay, 1 for 2. 2 for 3. Oh, 2 for 4.
A little different.
2 for 5. Okay, McLovin.
I'm so nervous right now.
Oh, no.
More nervous.
Okay.
I should have been talking. I was better when I was talking.
Oh,
man.
1 for 1, McLovin.
He just
Kind
of short arm that one. A little bit.
McLovin.
Did kind of short arm. Give it a good follow through.
3 for 3, McLovin.
On fire right now.
4 for 4, McLovin.
Dartmouth JV.
This is so nerve-wracking.
5 for 5.
Wow, that is just
McLovin.
Not good. Not good.
Here's Doug, 2 for 5.
a lot of air.
3 for 6. 4 for 7.
Feels like fate is
7.
doesn't it? That's all going to come down to McLovin's ability
5 for
to
8.
5 for 8.
close the deal. Flop.
6 for 9.
You need this one, Doug.
Got it. 7 for 10.
7 for
nice
10.
rebound.
McLovin, 4.
Now listen, coffee is for closers.
4
ABC,
wins.
always be
My legs
closing.
are shaking.
Always see.
4 wins. 3 wins.
3 wins.
Andrew,
3 wins?
It's off.
hit the second one.
That's 7.
He literally can't miss if he
He's
wants
7.
to. So one more
If he
win.
makes this,
it's over.
Yeah.
This is over.
This is it.
A lot of people are shooting free throws these days.
This is it.
Not everyone's making them.
Okay.
Look at it.
McLovin just missed it on purpose.
Wow, that's really kind of that's
boy.
kind of humiliating. Okay, wait. We understand what's on the
Now,
line
this
here,
is
right?
it.
It's tied.
Okay, McLovin, you have to
Doug
make
just rolled
this.
it to him.
Tie or win. Last shot. Oh, it's way off.
Okay. Now we have a
Andrew.
It's a shoot off.
We got 1 minute left.
Sudden death. Doug, you go first. First one. Oh, Doug misses. McLovin put Doug in the fountain.
Trey.
Oh! Doug, I think we have to do the baptismal here.
So let's not get
Maybe
a
take
microphone.
off your microphone.
Oh, man.
There you go. Yes. Well done. Well done.
Oh, man.
My brain.
I had a chance. You choked and I had a chance.
I blacked out
That
before
was
my
the
last
best.
shot.
Oh, man.
Lovin doing a color of money look away shot there.
And I did
That was great.
A lot of guys are doing it.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.